Hey there, and welcome back to Tube Gurji channel. Today we are on the second part of the taxi booking application. And if you did not watch the taxi booking particular tutorial of part one, click here and you will redirect to the part one. Okay, watch that part one first. And this is the second part where we are implementing a lot of different things. So first of all, let's walk through the application what we are going to build in this particular section. So in the last section, as you know, we are built until this point. Okay, and now if you just search, okay, any address or anything like this, so if you see, it's immediately move our particular pointer. Okay, and if you see, the our camera move to the destination and source, and the beautiful route is also design or draw on the map. Okay, see everything. So also not only this, but it also give the charges depending on the cars you selecting. Okay, so for economy, for example, it's $26. For electrical is 57.22 kind of thing. Also, if you see on the right hand side at the bottom, it also mentions distance and the duration depending on the traffic as well. Okay, so beautiful, correct? Then select any of the car, and if you see, the button is disabled right now, but if you select any of this car, for example, if I select this comfort, the button is enabled. Select the payment method and this, then click book. Once you click on the book, it will redirect to the Stripe payment gateway page. Okay, so right now we integrated the Stripe in our application instead of redirecting to the checkout page. Okay, it's inside our page. So now you can just enter the information. Not only this, but if you try to pay it, right, it will give the error, and then you can just enter this information. That's all. Okay, then you can add some future date, some CVV, and this is just testing purpose. Okay, and when click pay, it will pay the amount, and it will store in our Strappy dashboard. If you see, right, let me go back to the home page, and if you see, we have this or payment method in the dashboard. It will show it on the screen. Okay, how much you got, everything. Okay, so I hope you understand this one what we are going to build today. And if you have any question throughout the course, you can ask me um, in, uh, in the comment section, or you can directly reach out to me on my Instagram channel and follow me there as well. So before doing any further delay, let's begin to develop this beautiful application, and let's get. So in the last video, we implemented this basic functionality. Okay, and we are able to successfully show the source address marker and the destination address marker like this. Okay, now in this particular video, we are going to implement a lot of things. First, we will implement how to show the routes between the source and the destination once user enter the destination address. Next, we will calculate the charges. It depends on the type of vehicle user select and the distance between this particular source and destination address. Okay, and depends on that, we will show the charges. Right now, we hard coded this value, but once we have all the information, then we will calculate, and also we will show this information like here. Okay, let me show you the demo. So, for example, if I go here and select this address, okay, so let me select some address, and I will select the another one. So I don't know, like this, right? And if you see, the marker is created, right? See, and also we are showing the distance. Depends on that, we are also showing this value for each car. Okay, how much it cost and everything. So let's start begin how to implement this one. Okay, it's quite easy. Let's do it, and let's start. So once we select this source address and destination address, we have the coordinates for the board this address. Okay, and in the map box we have the one API called this get the direction API, right? So once you pass the source coordinates latitude and longitude and the destination latitude longitude, okay, we'll get some response, and in that response we'll get a lot of different coordinates. Okay, so let me show you the actual example. So if you see, right, this is the endpoint, and here I'm passing this source and destination, latitude and longitude. Okay, and once we pass it, it will give me the geometric coordinates. And these coordinates, if you see, right, we have a lot of different coordinates. These coordinates will help you to draw the lines, right, means the direction, which you saw previously, right? And because it consists of a different point, and all this point we are going to connect it. Okay, and that's how in Mapbox we are going to show the route. Okay, actual route. So for that one, first of all, let's go to our application, and inside the Mapbox map here, we will call that particular API first. Okay, so let's go here and just define the first endpoint. Let's define the endpoint, right? So if you see, this is the particular endpoint which I defined. You can access that through the Mapbox documentation, or you can access through my source code. And here the session code which I generated from online. Okay, so make sure you have this particular endpoint, and which need to be exactly like this. And then we'll define a method called constant get direction route, and which need to be async. Okay, so in this case, we are gonna call directly this endpoint instead of creating a Next.js API. Okay, because it's not if for that particular API we don't have any course issue, so we can directly call that particular API. Here, constant result is equal to await, and here I will await, and with the help of fetch, I will add that particular Mapbox driving endpoint. Okay, plus we will gonna add the source coordinate. So source coordinate, actually source coordinates, okay, dot longitude. Okay, plus here we have to give the comma, so I will add the comma here like this, plus the source coordinates, uh, coordinates dot latitude. Okay, plus we have to give the colon like this. Then we have to add the destination coordinates dot latitude, sorry, it's first longitude, and plus comma, plus we have to add the destination coordinates dot latitude. Okay, and after that there are some more parameter which we need to pass it. Okay, so I will just copy paste and paste it here like this. Okay, so it's because we are telling to this particular API we want geometry of GeoJSON, and also we are passing the access token which we already have in our env file. Okay, and then after that, obviously after this one, we have to add the header. Okay, like content type, I will just copy paste it like this. Perfect, and end it. Okay, now is a constant result is equal to await response.json. Okay, from this we'll get the response. So what we'll do, just console it and we'll see whether we are getting the result or not. So constant result. Okay, and now this get direction route, we will call it inside this particular use effect. Okay, so after this one, once the destination coordinate changes, we can call it. Okay, but we have to make sure that we have the source coordinates, and we have the destination coordinates. Okay, then only we will call the get direction route method. Okay, perfect. And let's save everything and let's see. Go to the inspect panel. Okay, so here let me clean everything, and from we will add 155 Cali loop. Okay, and I will add some other not trying street like this, and we got this. And if you see on the console, right, we got the result. Inside the roots we have the first element, and inside that we have geometry, and then we have the 785 coordinates. Okay, see, now these coordinates we need it, so we will store these coordinates in one state. Okay, So we'll define one state. Okay, so let's go back here. And inside here, right, one more thing, let me tell you, I already created this particular context called direction data context. Okay, and this direction data context I will use to save this particular coordinates. Okay, so this direction data context also, um, obviously we need to wrap it. Okay, so if I go to this page.tsx, here I added this direction data context provider, and I'm passing this direction data, set direction data like this. Okay, it's as usual, the way we added the context. Okay, don't be confused here. Okay, because I already added, but you can just take a reference of this. That's why I told you. Okay, before. And now the Mapbox map will add this particular get direction context like this. Okay, now this get direction context we'll use to save the result. Okay, obviously, uh, let's go here, and we will just add it, say direction data, and we'll pass all the result inside it. Okay, see, roots and everything, so you can just pass the roots as well. It's up to you, but I'm passing the result, complete result. Okay, perfect. Now we have this particular Mapbox map. Now we will create a new component. Okay, inside the map we can call it as a Mapbox route.tsx. Okay, this will help you to draw the route. Okay, so in this particular API documentation of the React Map GL, right, we have this particular component called layer. Okay, and this layer help us to draw anything on the map. Okay, this documentation is, I will not say complete. Okay, but I will tell you how to do it. So let's go back to our application, and inside this map box route, right, we'll first of all, let me replace this div with the source. Okay, so here if you see, the source is importing from the React Map GL, so add this source like this and in the tag. Okay, and inside source we'll add the layer, so inside that we'll add the layer. Now interesting thing is here, for this source, right, source, whatever the data we need to provide to draw this particular route, we have to add that data into this source. So first of all, obviously we have to inform that, okay, this is of type geojson. geojson Then we have to add the type, so we have to add the data. Okay, is equal to, sorry, is equal to, and in double bracket we have to type type of feature. Okay, feature. Then the geometry. Okay, so I will just copy paste it here like this. Okay, so maybe double bracket, I will remove this one. Okay, and here obviously we need to pass the props. Okay, because whatever the props we are passing, right, these props. Okay, let me define these props of type any. Okay, because it, this props contain this coordinates, list of coordinates. Okay, and obviously we need to define this map box route inside this map box map. Okay, so after this one, we can define it. So let me just copy paste it here. Okay, inside the map we have to define it. So what I define, if the direction data has some has a route, then we'll define this map box route, and then we are passing this coordinates. And if you see this, I'm just passing the coordinates only. Okay, and I'm not passing any other information. We need the other information somewhere else, but right now we just need the coordinates, and these coordinates I'm passing to this map box route. Okay, like this, and from this I'm passing these particular coordinates to this source. Now inside the layer we have to inform what type of layer we need to define. Okay, if you go to this one particular, right, it define a different type of layer. For example, in park layer, if you see, right, uh, this has a land use or type of field and something else. Like, you can go to this map layer on the map box, and here you will find a different type of layer like field, line, circle, heat map kind of thing. In this case we are going to use type of is equal to line. Okay, and there are other property like layout. Okay, whether you want to join, and at the end we want to round or circular kind of things. Okay, you can just try it. This all information you will find on this Mapbox documentation. Okay, they inform you how to do it and everything. Now, once you define this one, okay, let's save everything. And we have to make sure that that particular Mapbox role we added here. And let's go back to our application. Let's see whether we get anything. Right now, if you see, we don't have anything. We have to add the source and destination address. So let's add that one. And here as well, 525 North Trine Street, like this. And if you see, we got this particular map route. Okay, so what is happening, whatever the coordinates we are getting, these coordinates we are placing and connecting so that we get a perfect route. Okay, so every time obviously you added the source and destination, we are passing these coordinates and then it will return this coordinate. And if you see how beautifully it's showing now, you can obviously change the color and everything. If you see here, right here, you can change the color, whatever you color you want. If I select 0, which is the black color, and if I save it, see the black color is showing. Okay, I will keep the blue one. And this is how you can show, you can change the width, you can change the line cap is nothing but the endpoint you want, the square or rounded and everything like this. Okay, so this is how easily you can add it. Let me summarize everything first, okay, because if you feel confusing, let me summarize again. First, we have to get the direction, we have to call the direction API. From that we will get the coordinates, okay, a list of coordinates. That coordinates we have to pass to this particular layer, okay, and which we are define this component. This coordinates we pass it to the source, and with the help of layer we draw the line. Okay, I hope you understand this one. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section, and you can access my source code for free. Okay, and guys, if you still did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe, and please join my channel and help me to grow my channel as well. Now, depends on the distance, right, how far it is. We are gonna calculate the amount for each of this car, how much it charge and everything, right? And for that one, if you see, right, already saving this particular direction response in our context. And if you see in the this particular response, right here, we will see the distance and the duration, right, how much time it will take, depends on the traffic and everything, and the distance as well. So right now obviously distance is in the meters. We have to convert it into kilometer or miles, whatever, right? So right now we will convert into the miles. So for that one, uh, let's go back to this cars.tsx. Okay, and inside here, first of all, I will define this get direction data context. So I will add it here like this. So we have the direction data. Okay, and then I will define one method called constant get cost. Okay, so this particular method will calculate the cost for the each of this particular car, right? And this get cost, I will call it inside here. Okay, so instead of this charges, okay, I will define here like this. So get cost, and then I will pass the item dot charges. Okay, so it is in this particular, obviously in this item dot charges contain the value, right? We define, right, 1 2 3 4. Let me show you that one. So inside data we have this cars list, and if you see the charges, right, so depends on the amount, it will multiply the value and then we'll get the result, this kind of thing. And obviously here we have to make sure that we have the direction route. So what I will do, once we have the direction data dot routes, okay, then only we'll gonna show this span. Okay, otherwise we'll show null. Okay, and inside the get cost, here I will accept it as a charges of type any for now. Okay, so still we have this error. Let's see what's the error. Get cost item dot charges. So okay, let's write the code and then we'll see. Okay, so here then we will return the value. Okay, whatever the calculation we are doing. So what I will do, uh, we have the charges, but multiplied by we have the direction data dot, inside that we have routes, and obviously we'll take the first element into distance, so we'll get the distance from it. Okay, distance multiplied by we have some value which convert it into miles. Okay, so like this is the value for kilometer. You can just search it on the internet and you find it. Okay, and this will return the value. And if you see, this error also gone because this will replace the value which we are going to calculate, and is returning from this particular get cost. Okay, this is how simple it is we are going to implement. So let's save it. Let's go back to our application, and if you see, we got some information, right? We are getting a lot of big number actually. So what we will do, uh, we will just show some send to value. So let me here, after this one, right? So what I will do, I will put it here like this, dot to fix. Okay, so we will give the two value only. Okay, and let's try it now. So once it refresh, we'll add some address 55 kindly loop, and this is the 525 not trying street. Yeah, yeah. And if you see, we got this information, the economy will charge 25.95 31 like this. See, okay, it calculating depends on the distance, uh, how far from the source and destination, and then it calculate the value. Obviously right now we are just using the distance. You can add the time as well, how much time it will take, and you can add the charges for that one as well. Okay, but for simplicity I will just using the distance to get the charges. Okay, I hope you understand this one. It's quite easy. Make sure you need to use this direction data, because we which have all the information which we are fetching from this particular direction uh, API, right, in the Mapbox, because we already, once we already select this particular address, destination address, obviously we are fetching that API, and that will also reflect in this particular cars component. Okay, I hope you understand this one, and if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Now, next, we will show this particular information about the distance and the duration it will take to reach from the source to destination. Okay, it's quite easy. So let's go back to our application, and inside the map, we'll create a new uh, component. So here we can create a new component called distance time dot psx. Okay, and add the default template like this. Now obviously we need to add this particular template inside the Mapbox map. Okay, here we're gonna add. So at the bottom, after this one, we'll add this template. So inside div, I will add distance time. Okay, like this, and save it. We'll save everything. Now if you see here, right, let me okay, it's refreshing the. So right now I don't know what's the error is coming. Okay, okay, so if you see, right, we have the distance time is showing here, and we want to show it on the map on the right hand side, correct? So for this div, we'll add some Tailwind CSS class name. So here we can say absolute, then bottom 40 pixel, and then obviously we'll add the z index of 20, and from the right we'll give some margin like 20 pixel like this. Okay, and when the screen size is smaller, we'll hide it. Okay, hidden like this. And when screen size is medium or larger, we'll show it. And if I save it, let's go back to our application, and if you see, the right now is showing here like this distance time. Okay, we'll change the we'll change everything, but inside this distance time. Now inside the distance time, first of all we will need to get the direction data context. Okay, so I will just copy paste it here like this. So okay, So from the use context, we'll add this distance. Sorry, distance direction data. Okay, so obviously in that we already have those coordinates and distance and duration as well. So with the help of that, we'll implement it. Okay, so I will define the h2 tag. I already have the code because I will just copy paste it here like this. So in the h2 tag, I'm defining this distance, and uh, we already have this distance inside the direction data routes, 0 dot distance. Okay, and I'm converting into this miles because it is in the meters. And obviously we'll do the two fix so that we'll get this exact value, and we'll say miles. Okay, same thing will duration. We have the duration and we'll divide by 60 because it is in the seconds, and we'll do the two fix and the minute. Okay, so we convert it into minutes and save everything. Now once you save it, obviously what I will do, I will do some padding, and I will also change the background for this one. So add the class name. Okay, and we'll say background yellow of 500 and padding of 3, and then save everything. And let's go back to our application. So right now it's getting cannot read property of undefined. Okay, so here um, you can just do one thing. So let me check, because what we can do, we can show this distance direction data, because right now we don't have direction data, and that's why we are getting error. Okay, you can define here like this. I'm not sure whether this will work or not, because it will say the optional field and it will avoid this error. But if you see, we still have the error. So what we can do here, you can just define, if the you have the direction data, then only show it. Okay, so we'll say the direction data dot question mark dot routes is available, then only show this particular uh, UI. Okay, and if you see, the error is gone. So right now we don't have data, that's why it's not showing. But let's see by searching or getting the routes for the source and destination. And oh, I different address, that's fine. Fine street. Okay, and let's add this one. So if you see, right, we have the distance of 994 miles, and the duration is also coming. Okay, now obviously you can give some padding and margin, and so it will come up the top of this particular one. Okay, and if you see, we get this information as well. Now if I go to this map, here you can define that margin bottom to be 90, and it will come like this. Okay, so you can just adjust it according to your need. Okay, and then it will work efficiently. Okay, so let's test it again. 1 5 kali loop. Let's select this, and then 5 to 5 not try street, try on. Okay, and if you see, it's coming beautifully. Okay, you can just do 100, that's fine. Okay, perfect. So I hope you understand this one. This is quite easy, right? So in this particular one, right, with the help of direction data endpoint, we already show this route, as well as we calculate this particular distance. Okay, sorry, we also calculate this amount for the taxi, along with we also showing the distance and the duration for this particular route which user selected. Okay, this is how easy you can add it. I hope you understand this one, and if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. So in this particular section, we are going to integrate the payment gateway for our application, and for that one we are going to use stripe.com. Okay, the Stripe payment gateway, which is one of the best payment gateway in the internet right now, and it also acceptable throughout the world. Okay, so if you don't have any account, create a new account and then go to the dashboard. Once you go to the dashboard, here you will find the developer section. Okay, and right now it is in the test mode, so because we are developing the application and we are not in the production. Okay, so once you go to the developer section, here you will find the publisher key and the secret key. Okay, copy these both the keys, and then go back to our application, and inside the .emu.local, here you have to paste these API keys. Okay, So give the name like next underscore public for a publisher key, and then the secret key. Okay. Next, we need to create a new page or a new route for our payment gateway. Okay, where we are going to show the payment gateway. So for that one, inside the app folder, we will create a new folder called payment. Okay, but before that, let me show you how or what we are going to implement. So once we do the payment, right, we need to navigate to on some page. Right now the payment route is not available or a page is not available, and that's the reason it's showing 404 error. But let's go back to app folder, and inside that just create a new folder called payment, and this will be our new route. And inside that I will create a new folder called page.tsx, add the default template, and I will rename this component name as a payment. Okay, and like this, and save everything. Now let's go back to our application, and if you see on the slash payment, the payment text is showing. It means our route is set up, and that's how easy routing we set up, right? We don't need any configuration, just you need to create a folder in that particular app folder, and that's all. That's how in Next.js 13 app router is work. Okay. Next, once we define this one, right, let's try to navigate on this particular page. If I go back to localhost 3000, right, and once we select this, or we fill all the information and click book, we want to navigate to this payment page. Okay, so for that one, let's go back to the booking.tsx, and inside here, couple of things I modified. Okay, so first thing, once we select the car, right, on the click of this particular car, I am sending this amount. If you see, right, on the click of this car, along with this set selected car, I also select the amount for the car. Okay, obviously we are getting from this get cost, and this I am passing back to a parent child, so like this. Okay, here, and inside the booking I am accepting and saving in one state. Okay, so this stage is already defined here like this, and I'm saving it here like this. Okay, now obviously we are going to use context, but right now we'll keep as it is, and we'll update it afterward. Okay, next, on the click of this one, right, on click, we want to go to the next page. So for define this use router, and once you define this use router hook, make sure this use router hook is importing from the next slash navigation. Okay, because in if you are using app router and Next.js 13, we have to make sure that you are using this next slash navigation to add this or to import this user router hook. And once you did this, you have to just write router dot push and the name of the route, so in this case is payment. Okay, and save it. Now once you save, and if I click book, okay, see it jumping to the payment page. Perfect. Next, go to the car.tsx. Okay, and here we want to store the amount which user selected. Okay, so obviously we want to remove all of these things, and in the context we define new context. So let's go to the context folder, and inside here I will define um, user selected car amount context.tsx. Okay, and here I will define name like this is equal to create context of type any and provide null. Okay, and once you define, make sure to export it. So export and save it. Now obviously you need to add in page.tsx. Okay, you have to wrap it, so I will wrap it here like this. So selected car amount context dot provider, I will provide the value, and then in the tag, and obviously we have to wrap everything, right? I hope you understand this context because we use it a lot of times, right? And obviously I will define the new, I will just copy this one, a new state, or we will call the car amount. Okay, I will say select car amount use state. Okay, and this set car amount, I will just remove this one, I don't want it, and because it's just a value, right? That's the reason. Car amount comma set car amount. Okay, now we are passing this car amount set car amount throughout the all the components. Okay, and save it. Now what you have to do, let's go back to our car component where we are going to select the amount of the car, right? And here you have to define the context first. So constant car amount comma set car amount is equal to use context, and inside that selected car amount context like this. Okay, now this set car amount, here we will replace this with this particular value. So on the click of this, we are just setting this car amount value so that this context will hold and it will make available throughout the application. Okay, so obviously we don't need this particular prop. Okay, and also make sure from here as well we will remove this prop. We don't want. Okay, like this. Now obviously use this same context. Okay, so car amount context inside the booking.tsx. Okay, and I'll remove this one like this. Make sure to you import this context. Okay, and this car amount we need to add it here, because here is the condition, right? If the car amount is there, only it's showing the gray value, otherwise it will show yellow value, means it disable and enable. Okay, and also what I will do, I will make disable if the car amount value is not there. Okay, so button will be disabled, but right now I will, for testing, I will remove this condition and save it and make sure everything is running as expected. Okay, see, and booking is there and everything. Now obviously once you fill information, select the amount, then only book will show. Let me show you this particular example. So if I select the some value, fine. Okay, and if I select the value, okay, so right now we got one error. Let's see the error. Okay, let me make sure everything's saved. So if you see, right, we have in a car.txx on the select we have get cost and item.charge, right? So on select amount is not a function. So here obviously in a car we need to replace this. Okay, so oh, we did not save, actually we have to save this one. Okay, make sure to save it and then we can try it again, and if you see the changes applied. Okay, perfect. Now, once we select and this button is enabled, on the click of this, obviously we are redirecting to this payment gateway. Okay, now let's go back to our application, and inside this payment page, let's go to this payment. So inside the payment, we have this page.tsx. Okay, so here we are going to implement the payment gateway. Okay, we start implementing the payment gateway here. So first of all, uh, we have defined the amounts which we define, right? So what I will do, I will just copy this use context. Okay, so from the components booking and cars, okay, we have this, and let's copy this car amount context and I will paste it here instead of writing all of this thing. Okay, and import this use context and this particular car amount context. Okay, like this. Then we have to define the one constant we call stripe promise. Okay, is equal to load stripe. Okay, so another thing, right? Let me show you one thing, because I have already installed the stripe. You have to install the stripe for React. Okay, if you search for stripe React, and here you will find the first link. Okay, and if I scroll down, here you have to install this particular dependency. Okay, make sure this is very important. So once you install this dependency, then you can able to use the stripe. So obviously once you have this stripe, then you have to use this environment variable, so this particular publisher key. Okay, so I will just copy this one and just write process dot env dot publisher key. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, unassigable type string, so I will make it of type any. Let's try to make it this any as well. I don't know why this error is coming. Okay, so or you can do one thing, you can mark it as adds any. So this will be a string. Once you define this one, right, you have to define some option. So I will just copy paste that option like this. Okay, so it we don't want this one, so I will remove this. And it I'm passing the mode of payment amount. Right now I'm passing the random, so you can pass this car amount and the currency. And inside here, we have to you have to define element. Okay, so these all of this thing you can find on the documentation, but it's little complicated, so I am just simplifying for you. Okay, so this element, you have to make sure this importing from the stripe.js. Okay, so make sure to import this particular statement. And here you have to pass some property. The first is stripe. Okay, and you have to pass this stripe promise. So just type stripe promise, and after that you have to pass the options. The option will be options, which we already defined. Okay, so if you see, it's getting error because right now we did not pass anything. And inside that we'll create a new component called checkout form. Okay, so let's go to the component folder. Here we'll create a new folder called payment, and inside that I'll create a new file called checkout checkout form.tsx. Okay, and add the default template like this. So I will rename this checkout small o this. Okay, and save it. Now obviously you have to add this checkout form here like this. Okay, and that's all. So if you see, right, we got this error does not support attribute because it has props property. Let me see. So here is need to be a elements and not the element, so make sure it's elements. Okay, and also mark this particular page as a use client so that you can use this context. Okay, and save everything. Now let's go back to our application. And if you see, we got this error cannot destructure property car amount as it is. Okay, let's see what's the issue. So here is thing, right, the issue is because this page is out of scope. Okay, so it's not in this particular page. Okay, so here you cannot use the context because it's out of scope, because you did not, it's a complete different page, right, and it's not included in this particular context, so that's you cannot use this particular uh, context here. Okay, so I will remove this one. So what I will do for now, I will just hard code it some value. Okay, so we'll hard code it like this, and we implement the further, and then we will change this particular amount variable. Okay, so once you define this checkout form, let's go to the checkout form. And here we are going to actually implement the form and everything, okay, with the help of stripe only. So first of all, let's define the stripe. So here you have to define constant stripe type any is equal to use stripe. Okay, so this use stripe is need to import the, okay, sorry, the use type we need to import from the react type js. Okay, so I will import it here like this, and there are some few element we also need it. Okay, so second element we have to define it as elements. Okay, use elements. Again, this is importing from the stripe react stripe js. Okay, then we have to define the method. Okay, so inside this return statement, right, I will replace this one, and here we have to add the form. Okay, for the form we have the handle submit method we will implement soon, and then here we have the payment element. Okay, this payment element we need to import. Okay, so you should already have in the react type js, so I will add it here like this. Okay, so this will give a predefined form for our payment gateway. Okay, you don't need to implement the form, and this is a sample button I design it. Okay, just the text, we will modify it later on. And then we have to um, create a new method called handle submit. So what I will do, I'll create a new method called handle submit here like this. We'll passing the event, so I will do the event payment default, and if the element is equal to null, then we'll return nothing. Okay, and here we have to do the constant submit error. Okay, if there is any error or something like this, if there is any error, then it will return nothing again. Okay, like this. So this all the documentation you will get from the Stripey documentation. I will just copy pasting because for the time being. And the next, uh, this is very important. Okay, so make sure this is async. Okay, and what else we miss? So if you see, right, await expression only allowed within async function. Okay, so obviously we need to define inside here like this. Okay, so here I define this fetch method. Okay, you can access my documentation as well and the source code as well. Here I'm calling new API, and soon we are going to create a new API, which is the endpoint is create intent, and it is of type post, and I'm passing the amount. Okay, so this particular amount, if you see, right, this particular amount we need to pass, and there we'll get the some response afterward. Okay, and then this particular amount which is important because we need to pass it to this particular API, and it will generate a secret key. Okay, each time it will generate a new secret key. This secret key we have to get it here. Okay, so I call sec, so you can call secret key like this, and I will just print it out. And here inside the confirm payment method you have to pass this secret key, okay, along with the element and the confirm parameter URL. Okay, so this is the written URL. Right now we are in development, but afterwards you can replace it with the your production URL as well. Okay, and that's all. Now if I save everything and let's go back to our application. Okay, so let's refresh this one. So right now it's just showing the checkout form. Let me, so we change the checkout form, right? Let me go back to page.tsx. Oh, so we rename this one. So let me, if you see, right, this checkout O is capital. Let me replace this rename and save everything. Let's check it now. And if you see, the form is generated. Okay. Now this form is auto generated by the uh, Strapi only. Okay, you didn't, you we did not make any changes into that or anything else. Okay, it automatically generated by the Strapi. Obviously we need to bring it everything in one line or in the middle. Okay, so let's go back to application, and inside the page.tsx we have this checkout form, right? So or we can directly define it here as well. Okay, so for this form we'll define, we'll add some class name, so add the class name, and we'll do maximum width medium. Okay, and I will wrap this in one div like this, and we'll define class, sorry, class name to be flex. We'll make flex column, and then we'll make justify center and save it. And if I go back, let's see, does it have affected? Try to make it item to be in the center, and also make width to be, oh, we already have this one. And if you see, it's came in the center. Okay, let's give some margin on the top 5 6 maybe. Perfect. And we have this button as well. Okay, so I will update this button styling as well here. Class name, width to be full, background to be, maybe we'll give yellow 500, and padding to be 2. See how it looks. Okay, and rounded to be large, and margin top 2. Okay, so we have button. If I try to click button, you will get the error. Okay, I hope you understand this one. And now we have some dummy card number like 42424242. You can add any future date, some CVV. Oops, sorry, refresh my screen by mistakenly, and then you can add the zip code, valid zip code, and country. You can select it and just click pay. Okay, you have option to cash app pay, or you have more option. Okay, you can enable some option from the Stripe as well. Next, the last important thing, we need to create API. As I told you, we need to create API called create intent, and this API will give us the secret key. Okay, so this is very important. This is what we are going to implement next. And if you face any issue, if you have any doubt or any complication while implementing or understanding this particular code, you can refer my code anytime. The link is in the description. Okay, and still, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. Now let's create the payment API. Okay, so inside the API folder, we'll create a new folder. Okay, and the name should be this create intent. Okay, so inside API folder, we create new folder called create intent, and inside that we'll create another file called route.tsx. Okay, and here now we will add our uh, basic API call. So first we'll do export async, the function, and the function name will be post. Obviously we want the post, right? I will change this param to request. You can keep param as well, as of type any. Okay, and then inside this we have to make sure that we will accept the request parameter. So constant data of type any is equal to await, and from the request we will get the JSON data. Okay, so whatever the amount we pass it to the API, that will store in this data. Okay, and then to retrieve only the amount, we will write data dot amount like this. Then in the try catch block, we'll write catch block as well, and I will write error of type any. Okay, so inside the try block, we will define constant payment intent is equal to await stripe dot payment intent. Okay, so this stripe we have to make sure we have to define this stripe constant. So at the top, I will define this stripe payment. Okay, is equal to new stripe. So this need to be a capital stripe like this, and obviously we need to make sure that we will import this stripe and load stripe. Oh, just we need a stripe actually. We'll just import this stripe like this. Okay, and here we have to pass the secret key. Okay, env dot stripe secret key, which already have in the .env file. Okay, and then I have to give this exclamatory mark. Okay, very important. And then we have to write Typescript to be true. So we have to inform, okay, this is a Typescript and API version. Okay, so right now, if right now this is the API version I'm using, but if you get the error, and just hover on it and it will give the exact API version. Okay, it's actually date, but it mentioned like this. And after this one, the payment intent, you have to create it, and inside that you have to pass the amount. So amount of type number. Okay, then you have to write the currency. So currency, you have to mention the currency as well. Okay, so currency, right now I will do the USD. Okay, and then the response, we will write the response here. After this one, we'll just write the return and next response dot JSON, and the payment intent by intent, actually I want intent, payment intent dot client secret. See, okay, and then I will pass the status of 2200 if it's successful. So this need to be small stripe like this. Okay, so this need to be intense. Okay, so s need to be there, and if there is any error, so we'll just pass the status code 400 like this and save everything. Now once you save, obviously make sure in checkout form we have this API endpoint, the method is post, and then we are passing the amount as a 58. Right now is we are passing hard coded, but you can pass once you we get it from this car selection. Okay, but for the testing purpose we are passing the hard coded value. And now on the redirect URL is the home URL. Okay, but because we are redirected to the home page, and make sure everything is correct, save everything, and let's go back to our application now. Okay, so let's go back 3000, and let's try to book the um, taxi. Okay, so like this, and select the any car. Okay, so if you see the button is enabled, select the payment method and click book. So once you click book, it will redirect to this particular payment gateway page. Add the default page, add some date, okay, the United States and the zip code I added. You can save this, okay, and just click pay. Now once you click pay, if you see it's reloading, right, and it's done, but I don't know whether it's redirected or not. Let's see, do we have any error? And right now it's done, right? The payment is get successful. Let's try to find it in the home. Let's refresh the screen, and if you see the payment is done. Okay, so the new payment, if you want to search, I don't know where it is, I can search it, but let's search view. Okay, so total is 113. Before it was 28, but I made, I think, two payment, I don't know. Okay, so total is $88.58. Okay, and this is yesterday's one, so we made actual two payment maybe. And if you see the 58, okay, it's 0.58, because if I go to this, where it is, inside this API, right, you have to multiply it by 100. So whatever value pass, it will be there, okay, because otherwise it considered as a cent only. Okay, so see, 58 cent. Perfect. And this is all everything is stored, the payment method, everything. Okay, perfect. I hope you understand this one. Okay, the redirect URL, just make sure that it's redirecting or not. Okay, but if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. And if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. So I hope you understand this payment gateway method and everything. Okay, if you have any question, put it in the comment. And also we get this direction and we learn a lot of things in this particular section.